Okay. Okay, here's another job I just finished doing. You see down here, 141 photos. I have selected 35. I'll show you up here. You flag the images. We talked about that earlier. Flag the images. So we go up to attributes, select flagged images. And over here, rating, 2 stars and above, right here. You have this 3 settings you can do. Rating is equal to, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. So let's go back here and set it to rating is greater than or equal to. 2 stars will do this whole group. And you see I have a total of, on the lower left, 35 images we've selected. So now I'm going to create contact sheets. We're going to do contact sheets. We'll export low-res and high-res images, and we'll set up a folder for this. So first thing I want to do is set up a folder. So go to File Name over here. I'm going to select this. Copy. And I'll come over to where my Finder is. And go to my external hard drive. All my folders. Now I'm going to look and I have a FEMA folders folder. Various things in here, but I have common drive. This is where everything goes. Let's see, I have a common drive folder. So we go into here and pick, we're going to go into 2024 uploads. And you can see there are already 3 folders in there for the year. We're going to create a new one. That's a Shift Command N on the Mac, create a new folder. And I'm just going to paste in that file name, which is copied. I've created that folder for that. Now, outside here, I created another folder. It's a blank folder, and inside there we have the 4 main folders that we load everything into after we do a job. So we have a captions folder, contact sheets folder, high-res image folder, low-res image folder. These are empty right now. Nothing in any of these are blank, and we keep it that way. That's why this is labeled blank. And now what I do is I go in here and copy. Go back into 24 uploads, go back to BHM artist, and paste the 4 items. Now we're set to go. Now we're all set to load up. So get rid of that. We're going to create the first contact sheet. You can't gang all of them up and say, give me the contact sheets. You have to do them one at a time, but that's easy enough. Once you set everything up, then you just add the ones you want to do. So we're going to do 35 images, 12 images on 3 different sheets. So we go from 1 to 12. See here at the bottom, I'm using the film strip to select. Now, before you go, come back here and copy this file name again, because you'll need that for the contact sheets. So we copy, because we have those folders copied right now. So let's get this new one here. Okay. Now we go up to the top, print module. Here. So now this was from previous contact sheet I already had set up. It happens to be for 12 images. I might just keep it like that. So when you're deciding what you're going to do, you come down to the lower left, you see page setup. Click on page setup. It opens this, and this decides or can determine whether you're going to do a vertical contact sheet or a horizontal contact sheet. And I go by whichever one I can get the images to be the largest. In this case, if I do the horizontal, I'll get a little bit larger image, so I'm going to do it this way. But there's nothing to say one way is better than the other. You do either vertical, horizontal, whichever you think you can organize the best. The object of the contact sheet is to get as much on the page as possible. So you come over to the right here. We're doing a single image contact sheet, unselect these images, these boxes here. We're not going to zoom in, we're not going to rotate, we're not going to repeat. We are going to put a stroke border around the images just because it just makes them pop off the page a bit. That's without the border. That's with the border. Makes them look a little bit nicer. And you can change the width depending on what you like. I prefer just a thin line. Next is the layout. You come over here. In this particular case, we keep the top open because we're going to put the header up there. The identity plate is going to go up on the top. And I bring the bottom up a little bit just to keep the spacing a little bit tighter. So the grid here, this is where you decide what you're going to do, how many rows, how many columns you can do. 2 rows of 3 columns. Then you can see you have a larger size here. Of course, you'll have to do more contact sheets to show all of them. I could do all 35 images on one sheet. I could also do that. Create 6 rows by 6 columns. But then it gets to be very tight. That's why I'm just going to do 12 on a page and do 3 contact sheets total. So, again, 2 by 2. So you see different ways to do it, but try and make the image fill the page. And let's go back to 3 rows, 4 columns. Okay. Cell spacing just changes size of the cell. Sometimes it might not show the entire image and you have to adjust the horizontal and vertical cell spacing to make sure you pick up all of the image. Again, horizontal, we can make these a little bit bigger. We can make them a little bit tighter. Okay, and then cell sizes, again, the height and the width. So between the 2 sets of controls, cell spacing, cell size, you can adjust to get a contact that's kind of full. Let's see if the right side is a little bit open. It's just set that way. Left setting, maybe you want to bring that in just a bit. Down here. Open up that spacing again. Okay, so that's generally what we do, creating your grids for the contact sheet. Again, try and make the images as big as you can. When these get exported, they're exported at high resolutions, 7 meg files, 6, 7 meg files. So whoever you send these to can enlarge them to a point where one image could fill the screen and you can still see detail. That's one of the good things about the contact sheets. You send them out and they can see high quality images. So now, let's see. Underneath, you see the file names. We'll come down here on the right. It's one of the last sections here. It says photo info. You want to check that. That goes away. Photo info. Again, this is how we do our file name, date, who we are, FEMA, Region 2, Black History Month, artists, and then the frame number 102. This is 105, 107, 120, and so forth. So somebody can look at this and they say, oh, I like 117, let me have that one off of the first page. We're going to go now and change this to our job. So I'm going to come in here and paste file name. Then here we have 3 contact sheets. This is the first one, so we change that to 1 of 3. This way, if somebody ends up with 1 page, they say, oh, this is page 2 of 3 contact sheets, but where's 1 of 3 and where's 3 of 3? Where are the other ones? Obviously, there are more rather than just getting a page that doesn't say, I guess this is all that was taken for that job. So always make sure you say how many contact sheets are included for this job. Again, you can change this to whatever you want. You can change the type. Let's go up here. We'll pick Calibri. You can pick the font size and you can pick the color. I like to go with kind of a FEMA blue. You can change it to whatever you want. You want to do it black. orange, green, whatever you want. So that off. So this is our identity plate. Click OK on the tab. And you can resize this too. You can bring that all the way across if you want. Like here, you can move it into the center. Sometimes when you start this, you can't find this because it's in from an older contact sheet. It might be in a different location. So we're going to go down to, okay, here's identity plate up here on the right side. You see it, identity plate. Turn it off, turn it on. You can access it by going over and double clicking it. That sets up the editor this way. Or you can also come over here. You also have here you have your opacity. So you can make it not so strong or make it full, and then again the scale this way, like I said, or you can just go and drag it yourself. Well, here it is. Okay, in this corner here, you see it's tiny, it's hard to see. Little arrow, drop down, and you come into, here's where you hit edit. And that'll open up this also. So, like everything, there's different ways to do it, the same thing. So, close it. So, access it from either this drop-down menu on the right here, edit, or you can come in here and double-click, and it brings up the same box. Okay, so that's where you set up the name, job name, and your contact sheet. Click that off. Now we're going to file this. Come down again to the right side. We're going to go down a little bit further. And you go to print to, like we indicated, do from it to a printer. If you're going to make an actual print, or like we're going to do, save a file. Bring it to JPEG file. We want this to be high resolution, so set this up at 300. And JPEG quality, take it all the way up to 100. Again, that gives us a good 6-7 megabyte file, which is good enough for everybody to see the images. This is for printing. We don't care about that. So, all right, now we're going to come down to the bottom right, print to file. Click on that, and it brings this box open. And I'm just going to say contact number 1 of 3. We're going to put it into that folder, external hard drive. Search for this. Once it's set up, it'll be the same for the following contact sheets. FEMA folders, Common Drive, 2024, Black History Month, and we're going to go into contact sheets. Select that, save. You'll see up in the top left, preparing to print the job. And there you can see there's the contact sheet. Now I'll just do the same thing with the rest of the jobs. So I will come down and I'll start with 13. Select 13 to 24. And we're already set up. We've done all the spacing, everything. The only thing we have to change is we have to go up here. Let's edit this, go in here, and make this number 2 of 3. Come down to lower right, print to file. Contact 2, 3. And you can also save you some time. Let's copy that, save it. You can also start, you don't have to wait for that to finish. You can go ahead and start selecting the next group. So the final batch of images, 25 to 35. Again, come up to the top, double click on that. Go over, change that to number 3 of 3. Print the file. And just copy paste. Change this to 3 of 3. And there you have it. 3 contact sheets. So now we'll write up captions and save a Word document into the caption folder. And then once everything is finished, all the metadata is added, we will export low-res image files to here, high-res image files to there, and then take this whole package and upload that to SharePoint, to the EA drive, to headquarters, SharePoint, wherever. You have a whole package here. Let's see, but maybe you want that a little bit bigger. So you come over to the right size and you can change the font size. You can go up to, let's say 10. Now, the problem with that is what it does is it ends up splitting the number. So it's going to be, some people aren't going to be able to read that. They're going to say, give me number 5. They won't understand that that's number 105. So it's important when you're setting this up to make sure your numbers are kept together. You don't want them to break apart. So the way to fix that is you can go back up here to your cell spacing, go horizontal, and let's make it not so big. And there. Right, the image is a little bit smaller, but your numbers are now 102, 105, 107, 131. The numbers are very clearly readable. So you have to work with that. You have your cell spacing size and you have your font size, and work together between the two of them so that the names of your file names are readable to your customers and they can see the frame numbers, which is what they would be requesting from you. All right, that's font size. Here's another group. This is another job. Lunar New Year shot. I have a total of, let's go down to the bottom here. You can see I have 25 images selected of the 192 photos in this job. So what I'm going to do is kick out a contact sheet of my best images, my 3 to 5 star images. So we have this rating here selected. Again, different ways to adjust this. All 3 stars, 3 stars and less, or 3 stars and more, and that's what I want, 3 stars and up. So select that. We've selected the flagged images, and now we're going to select all and create a contact sheet for this. So I have 25 images. I could split it up, 12, 13. Gets kind of odd. So in this case, we're going to just do all on one sheet. I'll show you how to do a larger contact. So go to the print module. So this is from an old contact sheet, another job. So this one we're going to do, this is a horizontal one. Obviously, we're going to do a vertical, as they say, portrait. Come down lower left here to page setup. Bring this window up here. And everything's the same. We're going to do this. This is also something to make sure you keep this right. So 8.5 by 11 is what I'm doing, standard letter form. And we're going to come over here to orientation, select portrait. Scaling's 100. So go OK. And that brings the window up here. Now, obviously, this is a 3 by 4 or 4 by 3 as it's sitting now. So we go over to the right side. Let's scroll up to our spacing and our grid. So this grid we're going to do 25 images. So we're going to go 5 images by 5 images. All right, so we have 25 on here. It's a vertical, so we're going to open up the left and right margins as much as possible, and we're going to squish the top a little bit so we can put our header up there. And all right, so we need some space between them, so come down to cell spacing, horizontal. Just open that up a bit like that. Okay, come to the bottom and push that up a bit too. You have to just kind of fiddle around to get the right spacing. You're going to have to make sure your file number, your file names and stuff fit in there properly too. Let's go like that. And then, okay, now the heading. This heading is off to the side for the landscape version. Also, I'm going to need a file name for this. So I'm going to go back to my library. File name. Copy that. Back to the print module. And now I want to change this, but I want to change the orientation first. So come over to the right side and scroll down. And you'll see identity plate here. Again, you can edit it this way. Click here and edit, bring that window up. Or you can just come over to the heading itself, double click it, that brings it up. So I already copied the new one, so I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to add to the title contact sheet number 1 of 1. So lets anyone who gets a hold of it know this is the only one that exists. Select OK. Now the orientation is odd, so we're going to go back to the side here. And let's see, where's that sit? Okay, up to the top you'll see 90 degrees. See this rotate identity plate, so we're going to click on that. And in this case, we don't need a rotation, so like that, and we flip it over to fit the contact sheet. But oh, where is it gone? So look closely, and you'll find it sitting right here in the middle of the page. Grab it and drag it up to the top. And just let it sit there. Okay. So can I get any more size out of these images? Go back up here, so size, width, leave a little bit of space there, and height. Doesn't change anything. Sometimes when you adjust these, you'll see you actually get more of the image, kind of cropping some of these images, but this looks fine. Okay, font size. Okay, so let's say you come in a situation like this and you're set up from the previous contact sheet and you have this, which kind of breaks up the file name. So your numbers are okay. Sometimes the numbers will split, and then you have to kind of adjust it to make sure the number stays whole. So let's go back over here. Go back down to 8. All right, so that doesn't break the file name. And most importantly, they're just interested in the number at the end. All right, so that's how you create a 25 image contact sheet. Now, you can put 36 on a contact sheet if you want. When people get a hold of these, they're high res, they can zoom into them and still see the image. So depends on how many images you have, how many images you want to break up into different contact sheets, and how many you want to send to your client. So that's that.